Just need to get the questions up. Welcome back to this must be the fourth episode of the first seasons of Krisullis for the Creative. And today I have the pleasure of having Roy come here on the podcast after giving me some good ideas to questions. Decided we would do this. So Roy, first of all, why don't you just quickly tell the people that are listening who are you, where you're from, stuff like that.
Okay. I'm Roy. From Nigeria. I'm a marine engineer. Graphics designer, crypto enthusiast. Then I'm a member of Krisullis team.
I'm glad to have you on board. Oh yeah, that's. I don't think I have to say I am as well, but it's so great to see you in this project, especially because now I have started to understand a lot of the stuff that is going on in this space with Near and Krisullis. It's going to be happening in Africa, and I'm even more happy to have you on.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be part of it.
Good to hear. Well, you mentioned you're civil engineer and you're graphics designer.
No, marine engineer.
Marine, sorry, sorry. I apparently got that confused. Well, I'm glad it's not me. I don't like sailing. So first of all, would you mind telling me what do you like about being on a boat on water? Because it's so uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, it's the air. It's fresh. It's cool. The cool breeze that you feel. So it's lovely. It's a different world entirely. Like every day, there's nothing like Monday doesn't feel like Monday. Monday feels like Sunday. Sunday feels like Sunday. Wednesday feels like Sunday. Like every day is the same. So it's nice. It's a different world entirely when you're at sea. So.
Well, I definitely do believe that. I just
Yeah, and
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I love traveling, so walking at sea was one of the ways of seeing and going to different places. So that was one of the things that kept me happy.
Yeah, it's definitely old fashioned way of going places, but it's still very efficient. I mean, it's just the whole thing of for some reason I don't mind flying. I don't know why this happens with playing with boats, ships, depending on how big they are. But I somehow get like a fear of them sinking. I don't get a fear of a plane crashing. I think it's cold water. Just
I
getting
think
into
I
like
think you should give it a try. Maybe after the first time, you would overcome your fears.
I've done it a bit, like, but small boats I don't like that. I've done before as well. First of all, they're too small, and I don't like being in. Even though you're outside in some sort of way in a small boat,
Yeah.
like, I still get claustrophobic because it's like if I want to like just walk away, the people that I'm with the boat on, like I can't. And like bigger boats, they're okay as long as it's not like in deep ocean in the middle of the fucking ocean. Then I'm all good.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I don't know why I have a fear of being stranded in the middle of the fucking ocean, but I think it's
It's
because
just,
there's some scary creatures down there.
but yeah, people still selling, and you know, it's risky though because something can happen at the middle of the sea, and then before the rescue people would come, it would have taken time. But it's fun, You should give it a try. Maybe take a boat cruise, and then you'll enjoy it.
We'll see about that. It's definitely not something that's going to be happening anytime soon. I don't think I'm gonna have the time for it. It's the first time. I'm glad saying that I don't think I have the time for traveling or have the possibility right now at least. But maybe in the future, our thoughts, our opinions change. But let's also talk about graphics design because I know that's more the work you do for Chrysalis. So why don't you tell
Yeah.
me a little bit about what got you into graphic design in the first place?
What got me into graphic designing was um, creating. I just love creating, and I like um, I was into 3D animation too. So I love creating things. I can just sit down, imagine something, and I just want to create it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Or maybe I'll look at something and I said, oh, I think it can be better. This thing can be better. So it's, or maybe I am talking with somebody and I'm trying to get the person to do it the way I want, and the person is not giving me the desired result. So I just want to do it myself and create that thing in my head and put it into reality.
There's nothing worse than having somebody else create something for you and be like, you're just sitting there thinking this was just the fucking opposite of what I wanted. And you don't want to say anything because you don't want to be rude, but you're just sitting there like acting happy. But also, as you spoke, could you describe the feeling you get when you create like a nice picture or a nice graphic? Like when it's done and you're like satisfied with it.
Yeah, there is this feeling of accomplishment. Like, yeah, the job is done. Like, there's that excitement within me when I do something and I think people appreciate it. Mostly, it's not about when I do something and I appreciate it. It is when people appreciate it that I get that joy. Yeah. So, because it might look nice in my eye or it might not be nice to me, but other people would say, oh, wow, yeah, this is nice. This is nice. So, there's that joy within me when people appreciate what I do.
There's definitely different opinions on what beauty is. Like some paintings that go for like mad amount of money, sitting there like it looked like a 3-year-old threw paint on this thing, and you're paying that much for it.
Yeah,
Might have
that
my kids might have need to throw paint on a painting
uh,
just to see
that is
what's.
one interesting thing, or rather, should I say, funny thing about art. You know, sometimes you might need a different eye to see what others are not seeing, so as to be able to know what is so special about certain painting or different from the rest.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, you mentioning that great segue just to quickly on Chrysalis. That's really where I see one of the beauty strong points with Chrysalis. It really gives the creative, the artist, because to me, artists doing a podcast, it can be the graphics design, like all of these different traits to me are art in some sort of way. Selling is not. And really gives the freedom and the platform you need to be free as an artist to create whatever you want. Uh,
Yeah,
which I think is a nice thing because, as you mentioned with art, most paintings, like for example, the Mona Lisa, doesn't
yeah, the Mona Lisa.
I don't think it's a pretty painting.
Yeah, I think it's normal. I think people have done things like that, but why? I'm not sure, but I think Mona Lisa was special because at that time when that painting was done, I don't think anybody had done anything close to that. That is what I'm thinking. That
Yeah,
at the
then
time that Mona Lisa painting was done, nobody had done anything close to that. So that's why it's special.
sounds very likely. Sounds like yeah. I don't even remember how old it is. It looks very old. It looks antique, and sometimes that's all things need to become expensive. Uh, Going on the path down Chrysalis, what in the first place motivated you to join Chrysalis?
Yeah, Krisullis for me was about education and leadership. Education, leadership. Yeah. So it's about learning and mentorship. When I mean
Sure.
leadership, I also mean mentorship. So for me, I've learned a lot since I became part of it. And the idea behind Krisullis was to also bridge people, help people to learn. And it has become more interesting now that informal education has been added to it. So it has always been about learning and mentorship. Thank you. That's
Yeah, I like that a lot because that also really falls along the lines of what Chrysalis is for, both being mentored, learning, and then also teaching, which is like a mentorship, leadership. And I think those two things go hand in hand very well because sometimes it's good starting out being a student, but then evolving to be a teacher, so you're able to evolve your skill set.
yeah,
I've
that's true.
you like at this point you could probably teach me some stuff about graphic design. For example, just as one of your skills you could share and like do the whole leadership mentorship thing with.
Yeah, sure. That would be that's the interesting thing about it. Like you are creating a platform whereby I can also teach people what I have learned myself. So that's just it. That's a very
That's also like teaching somebody something and then the feeling of them getting it right. To me at least, it comes close, very close, if not even a little better to that job is done feeling. It's like so satisfying. You're like,
yes.
such a nice thing. And then there's the opposite thing when it goes completely to shit and you're sitting like, what the fuck are you doing? Well, both
Oh,
scenarios has definitely happened to me.
okay.
Luckily, no, luckily the second one has definitely not happened, Chris. None of them actually happened, Chrysalis. I haven't done that much. Well, I guess you had a podcast in some sort of way, leading the conversation, stuff like that. So
Mm.
also, you mentioned you like doing graphics design, and
Uh, crypto.
yeah, just I know just before, just because I just thought back in the conversation, reflected back that I mentioned you do graphic design for Chrysalis, but instead of assuming this is a lesson to everybody that's listening, I should be asking you instead, what kind of con, how do you contribute? That was a very hard word for me, apparently, to the
Yeah.
team.
Okay. What I majorly do is graphic designing and video editing. So graphics designing and video editing. Then I also send reminders to people for meetings. So those are the major things I usually do. Then I also do other things that are needed for me for the team to grow.
I've
So
also heard something about yeah, onboarding people onto Chrysalis, that whole starting up process, onboarding process.
okay. Onboarding, I don't think I would have much issues there as long as uh, it's free to bring in people. Yeah, at least for the beginning. I think, yeah, I'm a student here. I'm a student, so I'm in a student environment where there are a lot of people that want to showcase themselves. They are dancers, they are actors, they are singers, musicians here, there are teachers here too. So Crucilis is a good platform for them to showcase themselves.
For sure. And
And
go ahead.
this is a place where a lot of people want to learn. So Crucilis is the perfect place for them to come in.
You should be our HR as well, it sounds like. Using
Oh,
all the
thank
right
you.
words. I love your description. I was like, put HR on there as well. Well, yeah. But one thing that really stuck out to me was like how many times you said like being a student, and to me though that's like so profound to me is because like life is a lot about always being a student. You never stop learning, and I think that's
Yeah,
a great thing by any platform like this is that you're able to keep on developing your skills in an easy
exactly.
way, and you have the people around you as well to develop with, which makes it a lot more fun.
Yes, it is. It makes it more fun.
Well, that's good to hear. Just before we end here, you came up with this question, so you go. I hope you know what's gonna come next. Where do you see Chrysalis in 3 years' time?
In 3 years, I see. I'm looking at it from the Nigerian aspect. I see a lot of Nigerians coming into Krisullis. Yeah, and then I see Krisullis going global. Global. Yeah, that's where I see Krisullis in 3 years now.
I'm gonna follow that. Definitely follow that. We definitely have gonna have to start go global. Gonna be multinational. Probably not in every country, but I would like to see us at every continent at that point, except
Yeah.
Antarctica, because I ain't going down there for no fucking wet. I don't want to freeze to death. Forget that. We're gonna skip Antarctica and then we're gonna keep all the rest. Well, it was a pleasure having you on here, Roy. Do you
Thank you. It was
have any thing you want to just say before I outro it here?
not really. No, I don't have anything to say. I don't have any-
Okay, well, I like that as well. Sometimes it's just keeping it
But
simple. Well, to everybody, thank you very much for listening to this episode. Make sure to turn into the next one. If you haven't heard the first ones, do that as well. Schedule it out a bit, maybe. And also click the subscribe, follow button, wherever that is. Take care.